Race number 8 has the runner. Now, he carries the same weight as the win on the 16th of February, being an extended rating ban. Valiant Dream is on the class drop, but race best so far at Shard 10. Atomic Force was trained by Kevin Ryan under the same name, and over 1,000 in the UK at Hamilton and 1,200 twice at Chantilly in France. Nervous Witness gets the cross nose band on. Winner Method has his first start since October. Man Stars on the class drop, but has raced best so far on the all-weather. Mr Colourful is first up on the back of one trial. Pride of Eight's a newcomer, was Pride of Derry for Kieran Murphy and won over the 1465 at Roscommon, and a Happy Sharing makes his Happy Valley debut. Pace here, Nick. There's some talented types in show. Nervous Witness normally goes fast. Will he have the pace to lead here?
John, I think he will. I'll be somewhat shocked if he doesn't lead, because we know how quick away he can be, and he's drawn in gate 3, so he's well berthed to get himself to the front. Special M, obviously a horse that shows plenty of pace, knows his way around here. Winner Method also certainly not short of pace, and he's drawn 1, so he's in the ideal spot there, Paul, to get somewhere very close to the lead. Yeah, he won't be too far away, and Atomic Force has shown a little bit of pace in his trials. Now, the query, I suppose, Sonny Boy normally goes forward, but he's drawn wide, and if he starts to go forward, then where's he going to end up? He could be ended up. I don't think he's good enough to get there, but so I think they might just go back with him.
All right, play it safe with Sonny Boy and be towards the tail end in between horses. There's been some talk already on the show about Atomic Force. The man that knows him best since arriving in Hong Kong is Casper Founds, and this is what he told Nick via Zoom earlier today.
Casper, Atomic Force is a fascinating newcomer to the racing scene here in Hong Kong. You're the man that's been charged with training him. What have you made of this smart 2-year-old from Europe?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse, Nick. He's still developing. I'm surprised he's done what he's done, because he's still got a ways to grow, and he looks like a horse that's going to just keep improving into his 3-year-old year.
What have you made of his trials and his track work, Casper? Obviously, we know he's got that form on paper, which we'll get to shortly, but what have you made of him in regards to his homework leading up to his debut?
Yeah, he's done everything right. A little bit aggressive in the trials, but he wants to get on with it. His last trial for me was his best trial. He was a little bit more chilled out. And yesterday we took him at the 1800 and put him through the gates, and he was really good. So it's all just starting to come together. But as you know, these European horses, when they come to Hong Kong, most of them need a little bit of time. But this guy's got a big frame. He's developing into that frame, and he could be quite an exciting prospect for the stable going forward.
He certainly could be. Just talking of that aggression, I noticed that you've got a tongue tie on him for his first run here in Hong Kong. Just the thinking behind that, is that just to sort of harness what aggression he might have?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's like anything, it's different speeds in the UK over here in Hong Kong. Now we're taking him to the Valley for his first run. The race looked good. It's a race I picked for him for a long time out. It's an 85 to 60, so he just sneaks in there on a rating of 84. And gives him his chance to get to the races and see what we're dealing with going forward.
Obviously, you talk of his rating 84. He left the UK with an official rating of 114, so he's very highly rated. Obviously, a couple of wins in France, the Prix de Bois, which he won by 5 lengths, and the Prix Robert Papin, which he won at Group 2 level. I dare say you've watched those replays, if not once, but twice and a couple more times. What have you made of that form? I mean, just the way he was winning those races was very impressive.
Yeah, look, like I said, he's a lovely horse, and physically, when you see him tomorrow, you'll take to him, because he's there, and like I said, he's keeping on developing, which is, for me as a trainer, that's exciting, because we always have a starting point, but this type of horse, I can just see that there's something to work with going forward.
Yeah, excellent. Obviously, talking of working with horses going forward, a nice double on the weekend, headlined by Galaxy Witness. He's come out of the race okay?
He's come out of the race beautiful, yeah. He goes up to Chung Fa again, and the plan will be to race him probably second week of April. Yeah, bring him back and run in a 1400 again, and just slowly progress him, get him through the ranks, and see how we go with him. He's potentially a top quality horse. He's doing everything the right way. He's just come out a little bit tardy from the gates on Sunday, but I think there were a couple of issues in that race which might have just caused that. But I think going forward, he's going to be fine. He's understanding what his job is, and he's certainly a force to be reckoned with for next season.
There he is, Casper Founds, Paul, on Atomic Force. He's had the 4 trials since arriving here in Hong Kong. He has picked a rather strong Class 3 to debut in, though.
Yeah, that's just the query. I mean, coming in on a rating of 84, which is towards the top of Class 3, it's just a little tricky rating to come into. And as Casper said, sometimes these Europeans just need a little bit of time to acclimatise. He's got that really good 2-year-old form in Europe. Look, I'm just going to watch him in this one, but look, if he wins, he wouldn't be too surprised. But I'm just a little bit just want to watch him in this race.
We move on now to some of the other horses in this race, Nick, and we start with the runner. And this was a big win last time, never on the track, and gets in with 133 again.
He does, and he's fortuitous in the sense that this is a 60 to 85 race. It allows him that extra opportunity to run in this grade. So look, for him, that's a good thing. It's obviously tougher racing against some of the horses he is, but it was a good win, and well, he's had a great season, Paul.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? A lot of pace in this race. Here's a horse that does like to go towards forward. He might just be a little bit further back midfield, but from barrier 6, he should get a nice run. So look, he goes in for me for sure.
Here is some of that pace, Paul. Nervous Witness. This is last time at Happy Valley. Led up for home, was run down by a couple of them in the home straight.
Look, David Hayes has said that this horse has got so much ability, but the problem is he's a little bit keen. He does over-race a little bit. Now, again, his last gallop during the week, he was pulling in that gallop as well. That's the little query I've got. Once the penny drops with him, I've got no doubt that he's a good horse, but he'll be a top-line horse, but I don't know if it's just quite there yet.
What about his trial, Nick? This is since that last start defeat.
Yeah, Zach was back on board for this. It beats Master 8, so he's a Group 3 winner, so it's pretty good trials for him. And interestingly enough, I think with this horse, they do tend to keep the same rider on him as well, so he takes a little bit of knowing, as Paul alludes to. He's keen in his track work. They do their best to harness that. Look, he's not the finished product just yet, and I think when he does finally, the penny finally drops with him, we know he's going to be a very smart horse, and he's already shown us some good form already. But at the moment, he's just doing 1 or 2 little things wrong.
He's man on board, Nick. There he is, 19 wins from his last 44 rides over the last 5 meetings at Happy Valley.
Yeah, the majority of his winners this season have actually been around the Valley, and obviously that's highlighted by 5-timers, 4-timers, trebles, and he's just riding extremely well, Paul. So if it ever pays to follow a jockey, especially at Happy Valley this season, it's Zed Purton.
Yeah, let's have a look at his rides. Telecom Cheetah for Dennis Yip. Didn't miss the start in a recent trial. Wild West Wings in a tough race, but Party Warrior I think can win. I think Joyful Mood can win. Peak to Peak's got the right draw. HK Dragon did everything but win last time. Nervous Witness, of course, and Savvy Kingman I think is a big chance in the last. So once again, he's got a strong book as he normally does at Happy Valley.
Indeed, it does look a lethal lineup for Zach Purton. Winner Method, Nick, he returns now. This is his last start. We're going back to what was actually his first start for the season because it was over his pet distance of 1,000. He failed a couple of times up in trip after this, and we haven't seen him since October. We haven't, and he's done well at the trials also. He's won an all-weather trial, so it's his course and distance debut, as we can see from this piece of VT. Look, it was a good, strong race this day, and he obviously prefers the straight at Sha Tin, but he is well drawn here.
He has, isn't he? He's drawn barrier 1. He's had surgery to a right hind splint bone. That was the reason why we haven't seen him so far. But look, I think he's a good chance from barrier 1.
Like Nervous Witness, Paul, he too has been back to the trials, and he does race well fresh also.
He does, doesn't he? And look, coming here to Happy Valley for the first time, he's a horse that does race on the pace. So I think he'll be suited by the Valley. He has trialled well in the past there as well. From barrier 1, I think he could sit just behind Nervous Witness. I think he's a big danger to him. And look, I quite like the way he just finished off this trial, and seems like that surgery's done him pretty well.
It certainly does, doesn't it? Nice to see them come back as well in that sort of form, because he's a smart type of horse, and hopefully he can sort of go back to the good form we know he can produce. And the horse that he beat in that trial is the Golden Scenery, who definitely has a motor, as we've seen since his arrival in Hong Kong. So for you, Paul, Winner Method to roll Nervous Witness.
Yeah, look, I just think he's just going to get the perfect run just in behind Nervous Witness. So that's why I've sort of gone him on top. Look, Nervous Witness, if he relaxes, I think he could win by 5, but we just haven't seen that at the moment. So that's why I've got Winner Method to beat him, 6 to beat 5. The runner is very hard horse to lead out. He's very consistent. He's a last start winner as well. And look, the one I've put in just outside the square is Mr. Colourful. He's only had the 3 starts to date. He came to Happy Valley for the first time. His 5th behind Simply Fluke I thought was pretty good. From barrier 5, I think he can sit off the pace as well. So wouldn't be surprised at a good showing from him. But ended up 6, 5, 1 and 10.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Atomic Force in this one, actually. I know he's having his first run in what is a hot race here in Hong Kong, and it's not going to be easy, but the fact that we heard from Casper there a few moments ago, and this was the race that he had targeted with this horse, given the nature of the rating band. He's rated 84, so he gets in. He's put a tongue tie on him just to help him out a little bit, and he's got that very good form. He's winning the Prix de Bois was very good by 5 lengths. He's winning the Robert Papin was very impressive at Group 2 level, so he's got some very good form. And Casper obviously knows what it takes to get horses to win around the valley. So I like him here, and I'll go with him on top over Nervous Witness, who I still don't think is the finished product just yet, but he'll get there. He's just over racing a little bit at the moment, but Zach going back on board and the cross noseband I think is going to be a plus. Winner Method goes in as well. Hopefully he's back to his best form because he's a decent horse on his day, and first run around here could be interesting. And I've thrown Special M in as well. Look, he may have done his winning for the season, but he's honest, he's consistent, and he's drawn a gate 3, 5, 6, and 9.